What's going on? My name is NFT Flenny, and today I will be covering Designercon. I'll be giving the details, my thoughts, my analysis, my research, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a better idea of what to expect, what to prioritize, and hopefully you can just overall learn something, hopefully more than one thing, but you can learn about Decon, the artists, what to expect, the drops, all that good stuff. We'll be talking about it all. You are not going to want to miss it. So first of all, what is Designercon? It is an annual art and design convention that combines collectible toys and designer goods with all kinds of art styles and different kinds of artists. So how I think of it, it's more like high-end toys, not just some toys that you just play around with as a little kid. It's more things that people want to collect and are a bit more valuable. I believe that these are the first Designercon NFTs. If they're not the first at Designercon, then they are for sure the first Veve NFTs at Designercon. So they will have significance no matter what, and keep that in mind. With that being said, let's check out the lineup for Friday, November 12th's drop schedule. First up, at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we got Scott Tolson, and we'll be seeing the Decon mascot in blind box form. Next up, at 3 p.m., just 1 hour later, we got Sket 1 with Neapolitan Ting, and then at 4 p.m. we got Cozy and Dan with their Uprisings and Bunny Blossom 2D posters. So first, let's take a look at Scott Tolson. So he designed this year's beloved Decon mascot, who picked up the name Vincent, and apparently, according to David Yu, he also has a history of creating these mascots for Decon. So he's no stranger to this. Vincent is an ever-changing mascot for Designercon, but what's cool is that this is the first time that he is in 3D format. So I'm sure collectors, artists, I'm sure that this mascot means a lot to them and they see it every single year. And to be able to collect this for the first time in 3D form, I'm sure that will mean a lot to a lot of people. So checking out what's dropping and what you could potentially get in a blind box. We got the OG edition, which is common, with 6,666 editions. Then we got the Rock and Roll edition, 3,666. 90s edition, 2,666, and then the Heroes edition, which is only 666. That is very, very, very low. One of the lowest mint numbers on Veve. And we see a huge drop off from the rare 90s edition to the ultra rare Heroes edition. It is very significant. From my experience, I think that the Heroes edition, the ultra rare, I think it will be sitting above 1,000. I think normally it'd be a bit higher considering how small the supply is. But with Disney just happening and with 15 drops coming out this weekend and with there already being a gem squeeze, I think 1,000 is a kind of safe bet for it. Again, under normal circumstances, I think it would be a bit higher. My prediction will be 1,000 gems after the drop for the ultra rare, and I think the rest, unfortunately, will not do so well immediately afterwards. But again, I could always be wrong, and this is a good time to say that this is not financial advice and will never be financial advice. This is just my predictions from my experience. I could be wrong. But I think that there are multiple reasons that this won't do so well in the secondary market, and that's not to say that it's not a good collectible or anything. I'm just talking about what the initial Veve market will be for these. So I think there are multiple reasons. First, like I just said, gem squeeze, Disney, all that good stuff, plus all the drops coming up for Decon. And of course, with all the drops happening, the market will be closed because they close it before every drop. With how many drops are going on, the market will be closed for most of the day. And by the time it gets opened up again, there already have been 4 drops that day. These will be earlier on, so I fear that they might lose some hype by the end of the day. So on Scott's website, we see some more of his other artwork featuring the shards here. And if we check out his Instagram, he has 17,000 followers. For every artist for today, I researched their social media to get a bit of a gauge for what their following is, what their fan base is, and I think that this is a pretty good indicator or just something to consider about how big of a fan base, how big of a following, how popular these artists and their works are. So Mr. Tolson has 17K. What's also cool and worth noting is that he has worked as an artist for Disney since 1998, so very fitting that immediately after the first ever Disney drop ends, we got Scott coming in right next at Decon. So there are Scott Tolson's Decon mascots. Next up, for the second drop of the day at 3 p.m. Pacific time, we got Neapolitan Ting by Sket 1. This one runs at 888 editions, so slightly above, but still very, very scarce. I think this one will be about 1,000 gems resale immediately afterwards. And there's only one collectible for this drop to go for, so we will all be fighting for the same one. It's going to be very competitive. There's no blind box, no options. just a free-for-all. I think that this one is a really fun collectible. I love the colors, I love the pose, I just love the overall look and feel of it. This is a really fun one, and if you can get it on the drop, it will be a great one to hold because why are you going for these? If you can get your hands on this one, this would be a great one to hold because one of the first Decon NFTs, plus very, very rare. So this one looks cool, very rare, very significant. Sket One's Neapolitan Ting. I was taking a look at some of his other work, and he really gives me Ron English vibes, which we've already seen on Veve with the works of serial killers and such. And I think their styles are similar just because of their play and their satirization of pre-existing brands and the pop of colors they use. I just noticed a lot of similarities. And Sket One has 33.5 thousand followers on Instagram, which is the most out of any of the artists on Friday's Decon drop. And this will run for 77 gems. Lastly, we have Cozy and Dan's Upbringing and Bunny Blossoms coming in 2D poster format as our third and final drop of Friday. Now what's cool about this artist is that it's actually two artists. It's a husband and wife combo. I mean, how cute is that? And they also have a decent following because they have 16.4 thousand followers on Instagram. And I was listening to Orange Bag Lady's talk with Reverend Alex G and David Yu where they revealed all these Decon artists and drops. And Reverend Alex G said something pretty cool about these artists that I would not have known. Check it out.
Running theme for sure. Just these two pieces are obviously some of the most well-known, but it's worth noting that some of their artwork has been used by Weezer as album art. And people familiar with Weezer, I'm a big Weezer fan. So when I saw them represented in one of my favorite band's albums, I thought that was super cool. So
the first poster, Uprisings, pays homage to the iconic Great Wave off Kanagawa and is uncommon with 3,666 editions. The second picture, Bunny Blossom, is a bunny themed image depicting Japanese cherry blossoms, which is where these two artists now live. And this one is rare and only has 1,266 editions. So this will be pretty hard to get your hands on. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it or how lucky you may or may not be, I don't think that these posters will sell for all that much in the marketplace, just because historically 2D posters don't do all that well. And again, like the reasons I said before, the gem squeeze, Disney, blah, blah, blah. I think that people will be hurting for gems and they'll be trying to save their gems for future drops. We might not see these be as valuable as they maybe deserve to be or as valuable as they will be in the future. Right now, it's crazy times, crazy circumstances. We've never seen such a busy and historic Veve schedule. So keep that in mind when you try to think about your expectations for these collectibles as far as price goes. With that being said, I think that these will look very, very cool in showrooms and in the Veveverse in the future. And they're very nice paintings, very great work. And actually, going through all the artists' work on their websites, doing some research, I actually enjoyed Cozy and Dan's the most. I love the variety of their style, but not only the style of the medium, whether it be a painting or a sculpture. I think they're very talented. I think they do great work, and I gravitated the most towards their artwork, although of course every artist is very talented and very good. I'm not counting on getting these just because of how low the edition sizes are, and with the mass influx of users we've seen, it's going to be even more competitive. But if I am able to land one, it's going to be a long-term hold for me because, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, these are the first ever Decon NFT drops, if not the first Veve NFTs at Decon. Either way, very significant, very historic. You guys all know by now how I feel about my firsts. I think firsts will be the most valuable down the line when you look at the big picture. That's why I really emphasize them and why I put so much weight in them. My bad if you guys are getting tired of hearing me say that. I'm curious. Let me know what your guys' favorite are down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the research, the analysis, all that good stuff, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that bell so you can stay up to date with all things Veve and Ecomi. Support the channel and spread this video and spread the info to as many people in the community as possible. Well guys, thanks for watching. This has been NFT Flenny. I'll see you guys next time.